No.
Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, April 28, 2022, 6 p.m. I'd like to invite Daniel Beard, pastor of Action Church, if he'll come forward, provide our invocation, and then lead us in our pledge. If everyone will stand.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful weather we're having today, God. God, we thank God that you're with us on the rainy days as well as the sunshiny days. We ask God that you direct the agenda tonight, God, that you give us our council guidance and our mayor guidance, God, as they make decisions for the city, God. God, you bless them for their work today, God. God, may the city continue to move forward, God, with the right decisions as you see fit, God. God, we ask, God, that we just continue to be pioneers of progress, God, all doing our best, God, to serve in this city, to make this place a wonderful place for our kids and families to grow up and for people to get older and retire someday. God, we ask that you bless all of this. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Here.
Councilmember Cagle,
Here.
Councilmember Helton, Councilmember Witt. Here. City Manager Dorsey,
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Here.
First item on the agenda is we have a presentation of letter of commendation for 7 firefighters and 2 police officers. Chief Williams.
Mayor and Council, I had made a mistake on this earlier. There was 8 firefighters instead of 7. 2 of the names were similar enough that I miscounted. However, they all will be recognized tonight. Mayor, council members, city manager, I would like to thank you each for allowing this time for me to recognize these firefighters and police officers. The work performance that I personally witnessed that night was outstanding. I'd like to call those individuals up now. The Battalion Chief Billy Quintrell, you would just come forward. Captain Chris Peters, Lieutenant James Burkhart, Engineer Brian Dean, Engineer Ronnie Crawford, Engineer Joshua Williams, Engineer Tyler Ezel, Firefighter Jackson Albright, Police Officer Tyler Davis, and Police Officer Jonah Goddard. First, I would like to present Red Shift with the fire department with a unit commendation. In recognition of your shift's outstanding service, you're hereby presented this unit commendation for your actions during the operations of the department fire located at 3725 Fountain Avenue on March the 30th, 2022 by rescuing 9 civilians. Second, I would like to present letters of commendation to each of the following employees, both fire and police, for their actions on this day. And these letters will read, your dedication and commitment to the well-being of the residents of the city of East Ridge is highly commended. Your pledge to keep our community safe has made a difference in the lives of countless individuals and families. Your continued efforts to go above and beyond the call of duty contribute greatly to the quality of life our community cherishes. We would like to recognize and thank you for your commitment and a job well done. Mayor and council, we have 2 members of this that are getting the letters of commendation that are not present tonight. One has the flu, and that's Firefighter Josh Williams. And another one is Jonah Goddard, who is out of town. Assistant Chief Usselton will be accepting his commendation for him, as I will be accepting Josh's, since he's not here. And at this time, I'm going to present these letters of commendation to Red Shift, I'll present it to Commander or Battalion Chief Billy Quintrell. Billy will also receive a letter of commendation for himself, Chris Peters, Lieutenant James Burkhart, Dear Brian Dean, Dear Ronnie Crawford, Dear Tyler Ezel, Firefighter Jackson Albright, Police Officer Tyler Davis. This is Jonah Goddard, and I have Josh Williams, this is myself and Officer Austin. I'd like to shake each one of you's hand and personally congratulate you on the letter of commendation and on behalf of the city. This is just a small sample of the type of employees that are employed with the city. A lot of this goes unnoticed. With this, this speaks high volume over all of our employees. And there's many days that go by that we have situations similar to this. But to have 9 people rescued at one incident is outstanding. You know, you don't see this across the country. You see 1 or 2 rescues, but to have 9 at one apartment complex is outstanding. Thank you.
Also, Chief Williams said everything that could be said. You guys are always dedicated. We appreciate your service, your dedication, your family's dedication. And this is just an example of your service that you're willing to do. And on behalf of the city, I want to give each and every one of you a challenge coin from the city of East Ridge. So again, we cannot thank them enough for their dedication and service to our city. All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes of the April 14th, 2022 council meeting, the February 2022 financial report, and the declaration of surplus property. I'll entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Whitt. Do we have any discussion, correction? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for a citizen to come forward, address the council with any questions, concerns, accolades, and everyone will have 5 minutes. We don't have anybody that has signed in, but if there's anyone in the audience who'd like to come forward, now's your opportunity. So no one, I'll move on to communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Cagle. Vice Mayor Chauncey. Councilmember Witt. So I will always have things to say. Has anyone been by Camp Jordan lately? If you haven't, I recommend you going down there. As we mentioned, as I mentioned several times, Thrillville is now set up and should be operational today, I believe now, correct. So it is an amazing carnival that's down there. If you haven't been down there, I believe Chief Williams left. He just got a kiss from a sea lion earlier today. So all kind of rides. This is an amazing carnival. This is something that we're expecting and hoping that it's going to be very amazing. They're an upscale carnival. They've been in, as I mentioned before, Atlanta Motor Speedway. They've been through all kind of state fairs and everything. So if you get an opportunity, they're there for 11 days, if I'm not mistaken. They're there through May 8th. So if you get an opportunity, go down and visit. Kids Pro is,
And Mayor, before you go on, the working title of that is the Scenic City State Fair.
I saw that. I got pictures of that. So yeah, so get a chance to go down there. The other thing I want to mention is April the 30th, 12 to 4 is the Kids Pro. They're celebrating their 12th year in Chattanooga. UTC coaches will be joining, playing football, teaching athletes more skills and coordination, and also life lessons to help build character. So there's ages 7 to 13, and it is actually, it's free. So that's the only two kind of announcements I've got. The other is going to ask a couple of questions. I wanted to get a paving update from City Manager Dorsey.
The streets supervisor, Chris Vaughn, and I have started looking at whether we can do, like you said, be able to combine certain streets together to help save on mobilization costs and things of that nature. What's taking a little longer is trying to look through some of the streets and see about being able to do the patch paving, as you said, which would be another good alternative. Now, patch paving isn't just a little strip. We're talking like a couple blocks here, some more here on some of the areas that are bad to try to be able to get more bang for our buck this year. But it's just, it took a while to do the initial analysis of the streets. So now we're just going through and working on that other part.
Yeah, and we know it's going to take time. I just want to keep the public updated that we are making progress. Thanks again to the council for, graciously committing to spending up to, in this phase, $500,000 to start some paving.
Yes.
So we're excited. It's been long overdue. The other thing is, if you give us an update on the splash pad.
Yes, you stole my thunder, but I'll talk about it now. We're in the process. If you've been by the splash pad, we have the fence poles up. They're getting ready to put the fence around that section. The parks crews went through some training on the operation of the splash pad just in the last couple of days to make sure it's all working. We have a little more cement we have to put down to satisfy the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation as part of the grant to make sure we have enough square footage. But our goal is, and we are on track to be able to have it open by Memorial Day, by sometime right around Memorial Day. So it's looking good.
Thank you, sir. The last thing that I have is I wanted to give an update of some actions that's going on. We've been discussing the road entrances to the Gateway development. Working with Mayor Coppinger at the county level, myself and City Manager Dorsey and also City Attorney Litchford, we actually presented the road proposals to the county. We've got the southern entrance is where the phase 1 of the Gateway development is beginning. So we've got further along with that entrance, and we're in the right of way. Wouldn't know if I'd say acquisition, but the right of way consulting.
Yes.
And inquiring the information. So it's a little bit further along. The northern entrance there off of Spring Creek, we've already upgraded the 4-lane entrance in.
North Mac Smith Park.
North Mac Smith Park. We've got sidewalks. We've got some landscaping trees. We've got lighting and everything. And we're working closely with Park Ridge East with that intersection.
Yes.
So interject anytime.
I'm
We
sorry,
take them.
but yes, we've worked with Park Ridge East to try to make sure that we have the best ingress and egress for the hospital and be able to take care of their emergency traffic as well. And we had of the three options, as the mayor said, the southern entrance is the one that's furthest along. The other two, we're actually having a meeting with, like you said, Park Ridge East this next week.
Another
to talk
follow-up, correct?
And a follow-up to go over the finalization of the road design. And I thought we had a very productive meeting and presentation down at the county commission.
I did too. So if everyone's not aware from the press release, but Park Ridge East just done a $9.8 million expansion of the women's services. They're also doing some additional build out as well over there. This is not the end of it. And we're talking with them about their egress, degress, their road access. They're talking about changing it. So we've got a couple of options. We're working with them before we finalize the northern entrance there. But long of the short of it is I wanted to just bring to the council and mention to the citizens that we approached Hamilton County. We explained the economic impact that this development is going to bring to not only our city, but to the surrounding area in Hamilton County. And we requested $1 million commitment from Hamilton County. Mayor Coppinger is in full support of that, spoke very highly of what we're doing. Also, we had Commissioner Mackey spoke highly of what's going on in East Ridge and spoke highly, and all the actual commissioners had good things to say. So it will be on the agenda next Wednesday for a vote for Hamilton County's commitment for $1 million to the city of East Ridge in assisting with this. So we're very excited about that. We're very thankful of Hamilton County partnering with us again, like they have with Camp Jordan Parkway and Exit 1. Anything that I left out, gentlemen? Okay, I just wanted any questions, council? Good deal. That's all I have, so I'll hand it off to City Manager Dorsey now.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. We just talked about the splash pad. But was it Thursday we had the tent lottery? No, Tuesday we had the tent lottery. We went through the tent lottery and we had to do it 1 week. That's right, 1 week before the elections. We had 6 candidates come down and choose their spots. They can start putting up tents 24 hours before the election. I'm looking at Janet for nods. Yes, 24 hours before the elections. So Assistant Chief Usselton gets to go out and paint the spot since he's acting chief this week while Stan's out of town to make sure we get that done tomorrow so that the other spots that are still left are basically first come, first serve. But we'll have reserve signs on those 6 that were reserved as part of the lottery per the resolution and per the policies that the council put in place. I'm gonna ask Clint Usselton, our assistant chief, to come up for a minute. He has a couple items to discuss with us real quick. Clint?
Council. First thing, on Saturday from 10 to 2 at 5301 Ringgold Road, which is the Walgreens, we will be having one of our drug take back events. You have expired medication, anything like that, you want to come by, we'll have a couple off as well. We'll have me and another officer and some other volunteers there to collect it. All you got to do is come up, drop it in a box. We take it and dispose of it for you. Don't accept needles, but pretty much anything else you drive. Matter of fact, we'll even come get it from the car. If you want to drive by and hang it out the window, we'll pick it up from you. The other thing is on May 14th, our traffic division is holding a spring into safety event down at Camp Jordan Park. It's going to be in the parking lot of the arena there. Going to have a seatbelt convincer, which is what that is. You put a seatbelt on, you get to experience a 5 mile per hour controlled crash. There'll be a fatal vision goggles driving course, so you can get in a golf cart, kind of recreate what it's like to convince you not to drive after you've been drinking. We'll have multiple fire, EMS, and most importantly, police vehicles that kids can get in and check out, or adults if you're interested in that. And also the East Ridge Animal Shelter will be hosting an adoption event, and there'll be bounce houses, that kind of stuff. So should be a fun time if you want to come out and check it out. Again, it's May 14th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And drug take back is Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Remind me again, May 14th, where is that located?
That's going to be in the parking lot at the arena. So Camp Jordan Arena, sorry.
Okay.
Am I missing something?
When is the carnival's gonna be over with? It'll be over by then?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
couldn't remember. And I will say this, 5 mile an hour simulated crash
Rattle
is
your
pretty
teeth.
violent.
It will rattle your teeth.
It will rattle your teeth. I can say that from experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Chief. The last thing I have, I just want to say our HR manager is a very happy person because she looks out a window every day and sees all these dogs playing in the dog park. And she loves it, right? Yes. As you know, we're still waiting for the actual other pieces of equipment to come in to install. As far as we know, it's still on track to come in June. But right now, we do have it open. It's been used quite a bit. So we've had some nice compliments on the park. And so we're very happy that it's open and doing well. And that's all I have.
I can assume you're happy too, because you have a window looking out that way.
Yes, oh, it's nice. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
She's always like, oh, it's this kind of dog, this kind of dog, this kind of dog. So, yes.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank
We'll move to old business. Item A, ordinance number 1164.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge to amend Title VII, East Ridge City Code, Chapter 2, Fire Code to delete Section 308.1.4 of the 2018 edition of the International Fire Code previously adopted by Ordinance 1094. Mayor, Council, this was on second reading here. This is essentially to remove even from storage, any of the outdoor grills that are up there on the balconies that we're seeing. And basically update this to more address the realities of what's occurring, that you're seeing a lot of stored grills. And generally a stored grill is someone, it may be used. So we're eliminating any possibility of that.
Thank you, sir. I'm going to entertain a motion for ordinance number 1164.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1164.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Council Member Witt and a second by Council Member Cagle. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1164 passed second and final reading. We'll move to item B, ordinance number 1165.
An ordinance to amend Title 8, Section 8-317 of the East Ridge Municipal Code to update the certificate of compliance restrictions related to the construction of a retail package liquor store.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. As the city attorney said, this ordinance amends Title 8, Section 317-2 by allowing additional time for the two entities to finish the construction of their respective retail package stores. Delays in construction due to labor and supply shortages from COVID have increased the amount of time that's been needed for the completion, as we've seen in all sorts of different construction projects. It's been an issue. As you've seen, both projects are well underway, but may not meet the upcoming May 13th deadline. So all this amendment does is add 2 additional 3-month extensions, if for some reason both are needed, to be able to complete construction.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1165.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1165 passed second and final reading. We'll move to item C, ordinance number 1166.
An ordinance to submit a referendum to the people of East Ridge, Tennessee, the question of amending the charter of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee by amending section 6-B1 of the charter. Mayor, Council, if this is on second reading here, this is to clean up. There's that extra provision in there to reconcile. 2 years ago, it was to expand the qualification to Hamilton County for the residency, and then to clarify, consistent with the judicial canons, that the municipal judge can't hold any other non-judicial elected offices.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1166.
Motion to approve number 1166.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance number 1166 passed second and final reading. We'll move to new business. Item A, ordinance number 1167.
An ordinance to the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1200 South Seminole Drive, tax map number 168F-C-008 from residential R1 residential district to R2 residential duplex district.
Yes, sir.
Mayor and council, excuse me, on April the 4th, 2022, Nathan Garmany petitioned the East Ridge Planning Commission to rezone this existing duplex at 1200 South Seminole Drive from R1 single family to R2 residential duplex district. This building, the structure itself and has always been a duplex. He's just seeking to be conforming with the district.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1167.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1167.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Have you all mailed out any letters?
Yes, sir.
Have you put up a sign?
Yes, sir.
When?
Staff would have put that up when
Not up today, and it wasn't up last week.
so I explained to Dorsey today, we've been having problems with these signs with, whether somebody taking them away, weather taking them away. So I went out today when I posted Glen Meadows site. I took a picture of each one of those, time stamped it, and it now be going to the planning commission and coming to your guys' book from now on. That way we can verify those have been out there, because when we put them out there, after we put them out there, we have no idea what happened to them after that.
1 o'clock today, church had someone out there mowing the grass.
Mhm.
The sign was not there because I drove around it about 3 times to be sure that I could see it. Because I drove on Bennett Road, I drove on South Seminole. There wasn't a sign there today. There wasn't one there last week. And there wasn't one there the Friday after our last council meeting.
Gotcha. Like I said, once staff puts them out, Jackie, the applicant brings those into us, then we take them and place them on the property. What happens to them after that? And that's a good, like you said, with the mowing incident right there. Sometimes they get pulled up and never put back.
Isn't the applicant responsible for the sign staying in place?
That I don't know. I mean, once they're placed out by city staff, if they get blown away, then the applicant wouldn't even know where they're at that point. So they could possibly request them another one from RPA, bring it back to us, but we've never had this situation before.
I read somewhere in all this that the applicant was in charge of keeping it put up. He's even allowed to nail it to a tree, nail it to a fence or anything, but he's responsible for keeping it put up. And then 30 days after, then he's responsible for taking it down.
I had this same
Yeah, so
communication with Dorsey as well today. So like I said, the problem is when we get these signs from RPA, they don't always spell out exactly what needs to be spelled out, like with rezone and whether it's a planning meeting, which would be like Glen Meadows down at Wally's. When we get those, we have to take another piece of a paper that basically is stick on paper that RPA gives us, place it over top of that and then write, what we need to, your case number and so forth and the date it's going to be heard. So if it would start down there being correct, actually, if they could bring it here, we could fill that out at that point, not have to do all these other, initial, put this piece on, then write it out, then we could possibly give it to the applicant and they could take it and be responsible for it. But still, I like the fact that if I take them out, I personally take them out, take a picture of it, timestamp it, you guys know it's been done, planning commission knows it's been done. If there's ever anybody that says not, well, I have the pictures to prove so.
I've been by there 3 times.
Gotcha. And I'll verify with staff tomorrow morning, Jack, if it was placed out there.
Thank you, sir. Anything else? Anyone else?
All we're concerned with tonight is the rezoning.
I'm sorry.
All we're concerned with tonight is the rezoning, not the reason for the rezoning.
That's correct. And the public hearing will be on the next one, if that's what you're trying to explain to me, I guess.
Well, his application states he wants to rezone it R2, so he can come back and fill out an application for a short-term rental.
That's correct. In the R2 zone, it is allowed to have short-term vacation
Right,
rentals.
all right. So tonight, but we're not addressing the short-term rental.
We're not.
Short-term rental got to have two. So it got to be passed on ordinance. So you got to come back in front of us twice, or is the next ordinance the short-term rental thing?
No, so that basically you guys are going, you're rezoning this right now. Now he wanted to place a short-term vacation rental on this, but he's got to go through our department as well for that. Now, the only time it'll come back to city council is if, so it's basically like a rezone. We mail out with a 300-foot radius of everybody in that district. We take our own sign, we place it out there and say future site of a short-term vacation rental. Now, if we don't, since it's non-owner occupied, if we have no objections in those 30 days that it's been placed out there to all the 300-foot radius, if we get no objections to it, then we proceed. Mike, the fire marshal, proceeded, as in looking at the property, the house, making sure all life safety's in compliance, then we can issue that short-term vacation rental. Now, if we do get an objection to it, then we have to bring it to this body. And that's only for a non-owner occupied. An owner occupied, we don't have to go through that.
Y'all don't get an objection to it, then it don't come in front
It
of us.
will not come to this body for non-owner occupied. That's correct.
Only way it comes back here is one of the neighbors come and complains to y'all.
If they give us a written right, if they contact us, right, then I have to place it on the agenda for council to decide whether or not that can be used as a short-term vacation rental.
I've had one or two to object because they didn't want to do the R2 because everything around it is R1. And I seen an RPA thing where 3535 apartment A was rezoned back in 2002 for R2.
Yes.
Okay, well, I was out there today and I have yet to find a 3535A.
So keep in mind that you're going to see a sea of R1 out there. Now, just because it's R1, you have a sporadic amount of R2s in that area. To the east of that, to the east of the 1200 South Seminole, there's a duplex, 400 feet. To the west of that, there's another duplex, about 300 feet. So keep in mind, there are duplexes in that area. They're just not zoned R2. They're under the label of R1. So there are many in that district, but you just don't see them.
I was looking for the one that was on the RPA here.
Is it on, I think it's on the Bennett Road, right?
3535A Bennett Road, yes,
Mhm.
sir.
I don't think I have,
I went on down to the 3600 block and I found some that's back up in the woods that you have to really look for because the
yeah,
green trees go up and you can't see it. from
yeah,
Bennett.
3577 Bennett Road is way back there. It's almost like a flag lot.
Any other questions?
Oh, that's mine.
All right. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
No,
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Ordinance 1167 passed first reading. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3260.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the mayor to execute the attached contract with the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, for the City of East Ridge to provide mowing services at I-75 Exit 1 interchange for the fiscal year 2022, 2023 on a reimbursement basis.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. This is an annual contract that the city gets. We, as a city, I forgot what year this started, but we decided to take over the maintenance of the exit 1 there because the state would only mow it a few times a year, and that's it. And so in order to be able to have, better maintenance and look a lot more attractive and look a lot better, to be honest with you, we do it in 6 mowing cycles that the state reimburses us for. It doesn't pay for the entire amount of mowing that we do out there, but it helps put a dent in it. But it makes exit 1 look a lot better.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3260.
Motion to approve.
second,
A motion approved by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution 3260 pass. Move to item C, resolution number 3261.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the city manager or his designee to purchase 8 portable radios for the East Ridge Police Department through the Tennessee Department of General Services statewide contract number 424 pursuant to Tennessee Code annotated 12-3-1201B.
Yes, sir.
Mayor, council, basically, the police department needs more portable radios. They're the ones that we carry on our belts. We're actually trying to grow our reserve program back up to the strength it's allowed to go, and we don't have radios for them. And this will actually allow us to have one in reserve. We actually had a radio tear up about 3 weeks ago, and we had to take one from one of the reserve officers for the chief to use.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution 3261.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3261.
Second.
I have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I'd like to ask Mr. City Manager or Ms. Quarles to explain the drug fund, because I see where this is going to be paid out of.
The drug fund can only be used for certain things. They have to be law enforcement related. It's kind of like you could buy the canine dog out of the drug fund, but you can't buy the food to feed the dog. That money comes from seized money we may be awarded. That goes into there. Drug fines go into there. And it's like I said, it can only be used for law enforcement. So it can be used for radios.
All right, well, my question is, says here that we have, as of February, this is February's financial, we have received 102%
Uh-huh.
of budget, which was $65,000, so we're 66,000.
Yeah,
But
when,
we've done spent
Yeah.
101,000, we're 35,000 in the hole. So now we're going to
Fund
spend
balance.
30.
We have a fund balance.
yeah, in that one you use fund balance mostly. But when you get the March one, it's going to show, because when we did the budget amendment, I took care of that. I offset it and said we were using fund balance because it always has a fund balance. I usually, when we do the budget, I only budget between me and the chief. We don't budget a lot because we don't know how the year is going to go. And so as the year progresses, we will increase it. And if they choose to buy stuff out of it, then we do that. Like we purchased the dog from that. We have paid for the equipment on police cars that we have bought has come out of that. So it has gone down a little, but it'll come back up. So we're using fund balance.
fund
And it'll look
balance
different after
out of the
March.
general fund.
No, out of the drug fund.
Fund has its own fund and the general fund doesn't give it anything.
Because every year during the budget process, we have no idea how much money is
Right.
going to come into the drug fund. So with that, it's usually a pretty minimal budget that we
Yes,
put
we
together to
usually do
show a
about
balance of
45,
revenue and
yeah.
expenditures.
We'll usually say, well, okay, it's gonna be at 45 or 50,000.
And then if a big
But
purchase
then
comes
it
up,
can
we'll
go
take out a
up
fund
or it
balance.
can go down. You just don't know.
Fund balance is not showed anywhere in here.
No, sir, it is
Okay.
not shown.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution 3261 passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that's all the items on the agenda. We'll move to item D, discussion of the tentative. Oh, I stand corrected. Yes, sir.
Mayor and council, there's a couple resolutions I need to add to the agenda at this time. They deal with the Transportation Improvement Program.
Is this
That's
everyone's?
one whole copy.
One whole copy.
Janet, get one.
Yes.
I got that.
Thank you. At this week's Transportation Planning Organization meeting, we were given some updates dealing with what's called the Transportation Improvement Plan. That's where the city has certain road projects that we submit for state funding and things of that nature. And we were told that we have 4 projects that are still going through the application process. And I'll talk about those 4 projects in a second, but one of the components, and we've done this before, one of the components is you have to have a resolution from your city council that says, you will commit to the 20% of the road projects that are being done. And this is just the application process. If for some reason in the future, you decide you don't want to do the project, you just cancel the whole thing. But we have to make sure that for these projects that we show that there's a commitment. They were asking me to write a letter, and just like we did a couple of years ago, I'm like, no, this needs to go in front of council for them to approve. And there's 4 resolutions. It's because one's for each of the 4 projects. The projects are, the first one that we had submitted is the South Seminole Bennett Road road safety improvements. At that intersection, as you know, there's supposed to be a big guardrail on that curve right there, but a lot of people don't know how fast they're supposed to drive, and they keep tearing out that guardrail. We worked with the engineers to look at a traffic calming solution to put in there, whether it's some cement medians, whether it's turn lanes, whether it's bringing the width of the roadway in a little bit to try to get people to slow down there. And that project would run about $265,000. And like I said, all 4 of these projects, 80% is funded by the state and only 20% by the city. So it's a pretty good return on your investment to be able to utilize state funding, which is only good for certain types of projects. And so that's what the first project is. Are there any questions on that one that I can answer at this point?
Has anybody considered like they did over on Belvoir and the curve when was having all those wrecks over there, went in there and put that rub board thing all the way through it?
Well, the problem here isn't necessarily there's a small curve, but people just don't pay attention. Even on Belvoir, we still have tons of wrecks.
Yeah, but
because people go
the
down
rub-
that hill.
Yeah.
Pardon me?
The rub board's gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been paved over.
So we need to go back and look at that again. But yeah, this is to help with that traffic calming process.
Has anybody looked at that ditch that's fallen in there beside that house?
On Bennett Road right there at South Seminole? Yes, that would be part of this project as well.
Okay.
To be able to fix that because we'd have to widen it a little bit. Yes. So that is the first project. The second project is Spring Creek Phase 1. And that's the one that's $2,575,520. That project deals with the portion of Spring Creek that goes from the elementary school down to Ringo Road. As you know, traffic backs up there in the afternoons, stacks up going back around that curve. What this will do is it will help alleviate that by putting an extra, they call them stacking lanes, when you get to the intersection right there at Ringo Road. And after you go around the curve, the stacking lane should start right about where the curve is and come around. So you'll have like 2 lanes that go left and 1 lane that can go right at that point. Right past there where San Heisey comes in at an angle to Spring Creek, they would make that come in as a T, which is more functionally, functionally permissible to get rid of that danger of where it's at an angle. So it would come straight in this way for safety reasons. Spring Creek Phase 2 is to widen the part that goes from the elementary school north towards the hospital. And that one is $1 million. And of course, as you said, there's ditches and drainage and things of that we have to worry about. And that's $1,693,013.40. And as you see, the state's portion of that one's $338,000. Any questions on that before we go to the last one? And this is just at the conceptual part. I mean, obviously, we haven't gone to engineering and design and all that. This is just based upon what we know where we need at those roads. And this is just an application part
The
process.
decision on how far down toward the hospital are you going?
Well,
Go.
as far as we can go, it depends on what we end up doing with the with HCA with Park Ridge East on the entranceway there for the Gateway project.
Hope would have all of Spring Creek completely
Yes.
redone. That's the goal.
And then the last one is South Mac Smith Road. We've talked with Catoosa County on this one, and they're widening Mac Smith south of the state line and doing a lot of work down there. Well, that just puts more traffic coming up Mac Smith to Ringo Road. So what this will do is it will we're looking at least at one lane each direction with a turn lane in the middle until you get closer to Ringo Road, and then have more room to stack traffic at that light that's needed for the high volume parts of the day. And that one is $1,751,000 right now, and 20% of that's $350,000. Like I said, this is just the preliminary application part of the process for the 23 to 26 transportation improvement plan. And so all we're getting for the transportation planning organization and for the state is just that we would commit to 20% of these projects if they're slated and selected.
Thank you, sir. So
There's 4 resolutions, one that deals with each of these roads. So like I said, in the future, we said, we don't want to do that road, we just drop it. But right now, we're in the process of trying to show that, they need something the next few days that shows that we are committed to what our 20% is. And like, this has been done on many, many projects in the past as well. We had to do this, it was either last year or the year before, we had to do this as well on 1 or 2 projects. There are 4 resolutions, 1 for each of these, and they're not numbered yet, Janet. So I'll take over Mark's part there, but he can talk about that if he would like.
I'll just take these in order. If it pleases the mayor, I'll just go in order. I'll call out the number. Ms. Middleton, I'll start with 3262. Okay. All right. Resolution 3262, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the application for an acceptance of the Transportation Improvement Plan, South Seminole Drive and Bennett Road Safety Improvement Project.
thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3262.
I make a motion to approve resolution 3262.
Second.
A motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do you have any questions? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Move to the next item.
This would be resolution 3263, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the application for and acceptance of the Transportation Improvement Plan, Spring Creek Road Phase 1. And to clarify, this would be for the city to provide a matching amount of $515,104.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3263.
Motion to approve 3263.
Second.
A motion approved by Vice Mayor Chauncey and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Have any discussion? Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to the next item.
Resolution number 3264, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the application for and acceptance of the Transportation Improvement Plan, Spring Creek Road Phase 2 project. This would be to authorize the city to agree to provide a matching amount of $338,602.68 with respect to the Phase 2 Spring Creek Road improvement.
Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3264.
Motion to approve 3264.
Second.
A motion is approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do you have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to the next item.
This will be resolution number 3265, a resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, approving the application for and acceptance of the Transportation Improvement Plan, Max Smith Road South Project, would authorize the city to provide a matching amount of $350,000, $203.60 of this project. But this would be for the improvement of Max Smith Road South Project.
Thank you, sir. We entertain a motion for resolution number 3265.
Motion to approve resolution 3265.
Second.
A motion approved by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Chauncey. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Chauncey,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3262, 6364, and 65 pass.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
And
you.
one question you asked earlier that I forgot to also state was, so the total amount of funding for these projects is $6,284,500, and the city would only pay $1,256,000 out of that.
Thank you, sir. Awesome. All right, now we'll move to discussion of tentative agenda for May 12th, 2022. One item we don't have on there is we'll have the April Milestone Award, Service Awards. We have one. I won't disclose that at this point. We'll make it a surprise later. Long tenure, I'll say that. And then under old business, we'll have a public hearing for a unnumbered, well, it says unnumbered, but is it ordinance 1167? Okay. Public hearing for ordinance number 1167, the rezoning of 1200 South Seminole Drive from R1 Residential District to R2 Residential Duplex District. After that, we will have the actual ordinance. Ordinance number 1167, ordinance of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, to amend the zoning regulation and the zoning map of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 1200 South Seminole Drive, tax map number 168F-C-008 from R1 Residential District to R2 Residential District. It will be second and final reading. Do we have any discussion? See none. Underneath new business, we would have a public hearing for a unnumbered resolution, sign variance for Portofino's. And following that would be a resolution for the approval of the sign variance. Yes, sir.
Mayor and council, this would be to erect an 11-foot sign on top of the building. Currently, our sign ordinance doesn't allow any painted signs or any signs from projecting from a rooftop.
Thanks, sir. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Since our ordinance is not allowing it, why is it even in front of us?
For a variance.
Asking for a variance.
They want us to amend our
No,
code thing.
no, not to amend it, just to a variance to place this sign on top of the building. Kind of like what we did with Bass Pro. Even though it's iconic for Bass Pro, they still had to come in front of this board to get that painted on there.
Anybody said anything about the putting that sign up there, that you're not going to be able to see the Waffle House sign coming from Town Hall down there?
That would be the discussion with this body.
If I drove down by there and I didn't know it was there, I wouldn't know it was there. I mean, because you're not going to be able to see it. Building is actually almost higher than the Waffle House sign.
So yeah, you would have a difficult time coming from, Tomers Avenue headed down there to see that. I don't disagree.
Yeah, there'll be items for discussion during that ordinance or that public hearing. Any other questions? All right, any other business? Need to cover? I see none. Thanks everyone for attending tonight. Appreciate it. Everyone have a very good evening.